Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sage Be Me podcast. I'll be your host today.
Together with your boy Rizine, the commander. First time doing this. Okay, second podcast on Sage. But yeah, second podcast on this. We're ready to go.
And I hope you enjoy today. So, on today's episode, we'll be talking about control.
Yeah.
Basically, control is like when you take a remote control, you have the power to switch on the TV, switch it off. That's pretty much sums
up control. Yeah.
So, on my previous years, I've been having trouble in that I don't have transport to go to school. Why? There's no money at home. What can I do about this? Basically, I have two ways to get around this. Walk to school. This is if I want to go to school.
Yeah.
If I don't want, I can just stay at home.
Yeah.
I can never walk to school. I'ma look for something to do to get the transport.
Yeah.
As much as I'll be waiting for my parents to get the cash.
Exactly.
So this means I have choices.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, you have choices.
I have choices. I can do whatever
you want. Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So since there's been this struggle, then scroll about this struggle has been because of mismanagement of funds. So once money is used up on something that wasn't really, let's say,
necessary,
they decide to buy a TV, and we are left with no money. See, the TV was unnecessary. We can do without.
Yeah, you can do without the TV, and you go to school.
Yeah. We can do without. So over here, I have control. I can get a job and choose the days that I'll be going to school, the days that I'll be working. I can choose to be waking up very early in the morning and going to school.
Exactly.
And I can choose to educate my parents and tell them, hey, using the money to buy a TV isn't as much as is not as effective as giving me the transport to go to school.
Yeah. So if you decide to do that, at least have this set aside so that I can still go to school. Yeah.
Exactly. In as much as they won't listen to me, chances are they might not listen to me. Because
those are the big chances, pretty much.
Because, hey, mwanadamu akishaamua, I want a TV in my house. You won't stop.
Yeah,
you won't stop.
Pretty much most of the time. Yeah.
If their mind is fixed on getting the television, you can't
you
stop.
You won't do anything. Whatever you can do.
So, I have choices and I have control over the situation. As much as I can't do anything about how they choose to spend the money,
yeah.
I have the choice of controlling how I choose to react to the situation.
Exactly.
That's pretty much control.
And it's amazing, by the way. It's amazing about control. I remember the way we've been laughing here about this story. Oh my God. There are things that you control and the things that you do not control. In fact, I'll use your story as the example. The thing that you don't control, that's just what you've said. Whether they decide to buy a TV, that's something that you do not have direct control over. Unaweza kwenda uambie nini get stressed and they decide to do the TV, but then you really don't have control over that. What you have control over you decide. In fact, vile ulianza tu una decide, do I want to go to school? Do I not want to go to school? That's the first decision that you have to make. And do you have control over that? Of course you have control over that. Number two, if I want to go to school, what can I do? Na vile if it is umesema. I can decide to get a job on specific days, na zingine I go to school, sindio? And mama neza decide niamka mapema niende hadi chuo, sindio? Yeah, so you have control over those. So I remember we've talked about the frustration that comes from trying to control something that you don't have control over.
Exactly.
Yeah. So realizing unafaa kujua hii kitu niko na control,
this one I don't have.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much, if you're in the know of this I have control over, this I don't have control over, you'll basically be reducing the amount of stress that you're giving yourself.
Yes.
Because in as much as you can't control something, see, it wasn't written anywhere that you have to go to school. It wasn't written anywhere. And whatever I'm getting from school, I can get it other places as well.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing about the 21st century.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
let's take away the internet. You've gone to school. You back in the day, people really
You
wrote
have to
notes.
write. You have to
You
write.
wrote
Yeah,
notes.
I wrote.
If I ask you for your notes, you finished college. If I asked you for your notes, will you refuse to give me? To be honest,
At that point, I'll just give you my notes, honestly.
because you've actually you've completed school at
Yeah,
that time.
yeah.
So you giving me your notes, I'm getting the knowledge from you. Free.
Exactly.
And since you're my friend, if I ask you, hey, I'm not understanding what you wrote over here, you can explain.
You can
it to me.
explain, yeah.
So
yeah.
the knowledge that you get is free.
It's free. In fact, right now, the knowledge that
It's
it's available everywhere. But the way, essentially, most of the things that we are learning, it's available. In fact, the epitome of that is Elon Musk. As in, Elon Musk went and taught himself rocket science from books and people.
Just
And now he owns SpaceX. And SpaceX, in fact, as we are recording this, is about to send
launch
the Crew 1 mission to the International Space Station, a fully crewed mission. And this guy started with what? Wanting to know about rocket science, akaenda kasoma vitabu na kaongelesha watu. Can you imagine that?
Exactly.
Yeah, that means that information equal. Like, if you want to do something, like, and if you need information, you have control over if you get the information. So you don't need to look for something else. Yeah.
That's the basic. You have control over the situation.
Yeah.
In as much, okay, people tend to think that the knowledge that you get, you have to apply on big things. Forgetting that it applies on small things.
Thing as well, yeah.
Yeah. Because how will you know 1 + 1 is 2? Where did you know 1 + 1 is 2? School.
School, exactly.
You got to know 1 + 1 is 2, but how did you know how to apply? If I give you 20 bob for a 10 bob pimple, the change is supposed to be 10 bob.
How did you know that? Yeah,
Exactly.
Because you went to the real world to experience that.
And that's something that you have control about.
Yeah.
Once you interact with someone, let's say I don't like you, and in real sense, I can't change that. I just don't like you. Roho imekataa.
Imedinda.
That doesn't mean I can't gain from you.
Yeah, yeah.
People tend to put their feelings over everything, forgetting that they can control this specific portion. Fine, I don't like you, but it doesn't mean I can't benefit from you.
Yeah, I can't benefit from you. It doesn't mean we can't work together towards something.
Exactly. So people tend to you put your feelings above everything
everything else. It just brings inakuweka in a bad situation, pretty much.
Of which you could have helped yourself and gotten way ahead.
Your frustrations and stress just come from you trying to control something that you don't control. Like, kama mtu amekurong, kama mtu akafanya feel vibaya, you cannot control what they did, first of all.
Exactly.
You cannot control your emotion. You can't control how you choose to act, but you can't control the emotion.
Whatever you're feeling.
What you'll feel, that will happen regardless of what you want, actually. Kama ni anger.
If you're angry, if you're sad, if she left you, if your girlfriend, if your boyfriend left you,
now that's your emotion.
It's something that you're going through. You have to accept.
Yeah, you have to accept. You have to come to terms with that. That's something that you cannot control. The human emotions, you really cannot control them. What you can control, however, is what you decide to do after
experiencing the emotion.
Exactly. What do you decide? Okay, you decide, something like that happens to me. I'm like, okay, who do I want to be in this situation? What would I want to do? What do I learn from this? And what do I do about it?
What will be the result in me blowing
this up?
Exactly.
Blowing this out of proportion. Exactly. Haitakusaidia.
First of all, I'll make myself angry.
Yeah, you make yourself even angrier, frustrated. Kama ni kulia, you can cry your premium tears.
Yeah, exactly. Your eyes will be red in the morning. Ama you wake up with swollen eyes.
Yeah.
And this is basically how many of us are living.
Pretty much, yeah. You allow yourself to go through all that. And then for the tears thing, as in, even if it takes you a while, the control thing, you still have control over your action. Like, you have control over your action. The thing can happen to you, but you have control over your action. So kama if you need to cry, you leave, nini, in the end, you'll have to make a decision.
True.
Where am I moving? Where am I going after
Do you want to be crying all
Do
week?
you want to be crying all week? Do you
Or
want
month,
will your life
3
be,
years?
Will your life be just crying, or where do you want your life to go?
Exactly. Do you want to be happy?
Exactly.
You want to be crying? Where do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?
What do you want? And you have control over that. Hey.
We can go about this one.
Hey, control is one of the funny things. Like, I don't really remember this. I can't recount this story very well, but there's a guy called Viktor Frankl, if I'm not wrong, who ended up in prison. I don't remember why, but inside that prison, he gained an understanding of himself, a proper understanding of himself, and then he ended up being happy, and even making the other prisoners with him inside there feel happy, teaching them things, them learning from each other. And maybe that guy is even happier than some people who are even outside, not even not in jail.
Exactly. You have freedom of movement, but you're not as happy as that guy.
Yeah, that guy who's understood himself, who knows what he controls. He does not control that he's in jail, but he controls how he's thinking about the whole experience. Okay, what can I learn from this? What can I teach myself from this?
Exactly.
Yeah. How do I go about life in this new situation? Like, you have control over that. As in, for example, Nini Sasa, let's say you want to start a business or something like that. You cannot control the regulations that are in place for that.
Yeah.
So you don't have any control over. You cannot. In fact, no. Let's move to something simpler. Savings. Oh, you control whether you decide to put 10 bob out of every 100 bob that you ever get. Actually, that's something that you have direct control over. But most people, if you don't have a vision, then you won't find a reason for you to put this 10 shillings aside. Like, 10 bob.
10 bob is not a lot.
10 bob is not even a lot of money.
It's just 10 bob.
And then, that's the crazy thing. By I started by saving 15 bob, 15 shillings. Make a 10 bob na 5 bob. That's how I started saving. Of course, nimekuwa na times nimetumia savings zangu kiasi. But for the most part, the coins sijawahi shika. So these coins right now are like, I don't know, 3k 665 shillings.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of coins, man. That thing is heavy.
You can imagine. You didn't have that 3k.
Yeah, I didn't have that 3k. In fact, kama singe decide kusave at that point, hizi coins zote zenye zimesevika saizi hata zingekuwa.
Hata you don't know where
hata zingekuwa happy, ningekuwa nitumia to use for some other purpose. Yeah, so I had the choice. Okay, I don't have control over whether what. I don't have control over whether I'm given more money. I don't have control over whether I earn more. Like, okay, whether my boss decides to add my salary or not. But I have the control
of this, whatever I get.
Yeah, whatever I get, I can decide I put this amount aside. Yeah, that's it. You have control. You don't have control over these other factors. In fact, you thinking about all these other factors,
it's just a waste of time.
It's a waste of your time. And even if it does increase, you have control of what you do with that increased cash flow.
True.
Yeah.
And whenever you start this, you should know, whenever as a human being, I know that whenever you feel angry, you'll start feeling, as in personally, you know, this is this emotion.
Yeah, this you know the emotion.
Unajuanga tu hapa naanza kusikia nimekasirika. Hapa nasikia kuna sadness na movie ni sad, nasikia kulia.
Yeah.
So it's up to you when I start feeling
this emotion.
Yeah, exactly. How am I supposed to react? Because personally, at home, I'd say that my father, these are the type of people you call short-tempered. Something small, they can make very big.
Yeah.
That's short-tempered. So he is short-tempered. And considering that he's actually my father, it means he spent a lot of time in this world, but didn't figure out, hey, there's this and this I can control over.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That actually shows, and it's okay. It's normal.
It's normal.
You shouldn't feel sad about it.
Yeah.
It's normal. You'll find out someone died, lived 100 years, but
never knew anything that.
about
In fact, whatever I was speaking, probably very few people even use it, even think about it in that way.
You find that few people realize this, but it's actually there.
That's the truth, yeah.
And once you discover it, you are in the 1% of the know.
You're 1% of the know. You're free. Actually, you choose freedom now because like that will reduce all your stress. And I remember there's something that you mentioned. You are like, if you're faced with a situation, you ask yourself, do I have control over this?
If I do, then do whatever you can.
You can about it. So,
Do
what
something
you can.
about it.
Do something about it.
If you have control, if you can do something about it,
do it. If you cannot,
then why
are you worrying about it? Exactly. It will save you a lot of time. Niko na inani affect.
Let's say this. Let's say I am worried about my parents. God forbid. I'm worried about my parents. For them, they are not getting along with each other. What can I do? Hey, you can decide to listen to them. Of which, if you listen to them, it can be the blame game. And once the blame game starts, there's no end.
Stop.
There's no end. And you can choose, I'll not give them that attention. I'll not allow myself to get caught up in their business.
What's going on over there, yeah.
Because once I start feeling sad, it starts affecting
It'll affect you, yeah. And it affects everything about you. You know, it's interesting how like very small things that happen in your daily life will influence your whole life. Now, outer notice.
That's
outer
true.
notice.
That's true. Because I was telling a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Atakwambia time yenye you're talking about something, then she feels like, I don't know. She feels like, on her side, she can't say something about it. Like, tuseme, it's an argument, na ameshindwa. Atakwambia, fanya kenye unataka. Sasa akikwambia fanya kenye unataka, this is just we can say it's
a defense mechanism.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I told. That's what I actually said. Yeah. It's a defense mechanism because when she says that, ama he says that, fanya kenye unataka, this means
that you're not addressing the situation.
Yeah, as in his or her mind is blocked. She doesn't want to know. She doesn't care about.
Listen. Exactly.
As in, you won't move forward in that situation.
Yeah.
And once you hear fanya kenye unataka, man, you better make yourself scarce.
Better think about what you're doing.
You better make yourself scarce, because there's no point on me talking to you about something sensitive, e.g. politics, but your mind is fixed on a specific...
Something specific.
A specific... I don't want to say theory, it's not usually theory. A specific idea, agenda, that specific one. I'm trying to put you in the know that ABCD
is going on. All this is this is the pool of the information.
I'm trying to tell you this, but on
you're
your side,
fixated on something.
Kama mtu hataki kuelewa, hata kuelewa.
In fact, by the this is something else that you cannot control.
if
you cannot control other people's opinions or what they think. In fact, kama unataka kufollow agenda flani, that's not something that you have control over. You have control over deciding, okay, this person is not listening to me.
This one doesn't want to understand me.
I choose not to speak anymore. I choose to leave this. Yeah.
I can do something. Actually, right now I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
I should have done something at that specific moment in time.
Yeah.
Saizi ningekuanga a better position, ningekuwa nimeedit, nilikuwa na kazi. I had a client, aliniambia make for me this.
Ungekuwa ushaedit your stuff kamalizia.
But saizi uko wapi? Uko hapa una argue na this person.
Yeah, who's not listening
to you. Who doesn't want to
understand? Who doesn't want to listen and don't want to understand. Yeah, that's the crazy thing, by the way. Okay. The ideal thing is to listen, as in listen to understand, not just listen to respond. Listen to understand what someone is saying. Most people listen to reply, but they do realize that.
Exactly.
Even like I've been prone to that, and I know even you've been prone to that. Sometimes you just listen because you want to say something, and you want to say something back.
As in something. You
I don't like younger
or like. So it's like today my nephew called me in the morning. Actually, my niece called me. My niece, she's small. She turned 1 a few months ago.
Yeah.
So she calls me, puts the phone over there,
Yeah.
then looks at me.
Yeah.
She can only mouth a few words and say a couple of people's names.
Yeah.
So she calls and says, Mambo. So for me, I'd prefer a video call with her because I can look at her
Yeah, you can,
than a phone call where it's Mambo.
Yeah, and you can't.
Mambo. Mambo.
Mambo, a lot of
Woko
mambos.
poa. Mambo poa. Mambo.
Poor tenor.
So so it'll be better
Yeah.
if since I can't control, because she really does want to talk to you. That's why she called. Actually,
That's why
she knows what she's doing when
On
she's
the
calling
phone,
you.
yeah, exactly. She knows exactly what she's doing.
When she looks at you, she knows
Who you are,
hey,
she knows what.
as much as she's a small, as much as ako mdogo
Yeah.
hivyo, anajua ni nini
Anajua nini
anafanya.
anafanya. But that's the interesting thing about children these
If
days.
she wants to talk to you,
Atakutafuta.
exactly, she knows your voice.
Yeah.
She knows how you look. That's why, as in, if you just know what you're doing, if you know why you're listening to this person,
Yeah.
if you know why am I talking to this guy?
Yeah, why am I talking to this guy? Why am I talking to this girl? Why?
Is it benefiting me? As in,
is it helping me?
I think we should talk an episode of time, as in how to just
How to manage your time,
Yeah, exactly.
as in towards something that you want in the future. Because you can manage your time right now, but you'll be doing things that are like very urgent. And are probably not even that important.
Exactly.
Or very important and very urgent.
Because there's an episode that I talked about.
Yeah.
How you set your goals. There was something that's urgent. There's something that's urgent and important, and there's something that is a long term.
With a long-term goal.
Yeah. That it's right now it doesn't seem urgent,
But it is probably the most important thing you can work on.
Example, if I want to be a lawyer, or a doctor, 7 years, 6 years, 5 years, around that period. Me reading introduction, introduction.
I can't do introduction.
But
That small action.
but these definitions that are used in this introduction, ukifika huko mwisho, ukifungua page ya mwisho, no, they are talking about sijui act of sijui ABCD. There's this specific word that was introduced
years ago
that you don't know. What next?
What next? What will you do? That's the interesting thing, by the way. Long-term goals, they really don't seem that urgent. You know, like if you want to make, like if you want to become let's say you want to become a millionaire in dollars, like that, or you want to become fit or something like that. That's not. Or you want to lose weight even.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's very urgent right now.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't feel like it's something you need to do right now. But in the long run, even eating right.
Exactly.
Even eating right, like that will lead to. In fact, they usually say studies have said, but we will just use that eating right actually makes you live longer. So if you decide, in fact, even Warren Buffett is like, okay, you're only going to get one body in this life, my friend. You should take care of it. So you can't decide to start taking care of your body at 50 years old. Like
how?
the time has passed. As in your
body is not functioning
your
the
bones
way
need
it should
oil.
have been. You should have been functioning.
Yeah, exactly.
If you took care of yourself.
Exactly. So those things really don't seem that urgent. Even saving money sometimes is not urgent for people. Like they don't know what they're going to do with
that money.
So I'm like,
what's the point saving?
Why should I save anything? But then in the end, you should ask yourself, okay, what type of life do I want to live? Let's say when I'm 40, 50, when I'm 80, do I want to look back? When I look back at my life, what do I want to think of my financial situation?
Exactly.
My life, my relationships. What do I want to think of? Something like that. Yeah. It's like that's the interesting thing. Every day counts towards that goal.
Exactly.
Everything that you do right now will count towards that goal. So if you don't do anything about it right now, it's like you saying, I really don't want that goal. Like that's
it's not really
that important to me.
It's not that important.
Basically, that's what you're saying.
Exactly. So when you're talking about control, it's basically, is this important? Is this not important?
Is this important? Is this not important?
Yeah, exactly.
Do I have control over this? Do I not have control over this?
If you don't have control over it, it's not important.
It's not really important. If it is important,
you will have.
You really don't have anything to do. You don't have something to do to offset that you don't have control over it. Like let's say, let's say COVID happens and you're in business right now. Do you have control over coronavirus right now? You really don't have control over that. You have control over this business. Okay, how do I make sure that COVID measures are being followed right now? In fact, let's use COVID as an example. We cannot control coronavirus. We can't control the spread. We can't control anything really. What we can control about ourselves is, am I wearing my mask? Am I social distancing?
That's true.
Like, do I find myself in crowded areas or do I not? Like,
exactly. Yeah. And if you're in crowded areas, are you wearing your mask?
Are you wearing your mask? Am I washing my hands when I get home? Am I sanitizing my hands? Exactly. Things like those. Those are things you have control over. So I think focus on the things that you have control over, and if you don't have control over them, don't worry about them. Figure out how you can understand that you don't have control over them, and let them be.
And make sure when you feel something, because as a human being, you will experience each and every feeling.
Yes.
When you feel something, just make sure that you notice something's coming up.
Something's coming up.
Something's boiling.
Something's boiling in my body right now.
Just once you know, something's boiling, you're sorted.
You're sorted, yeah, because now you have the opportunity to choose where to lie. Isn't it? Perfect.
Yeah, that's the episode of today. Follow me on my socials. That's Sage_B_muchachos on Instagram, Sage_B_me on Twitter.
Follow me at Rizine Mzikamanda on Instagram, and RR Mzikamanda, capital R, capital M on Twitter. And I will see y'all on the next one.
See you next episode.